Welcome back to another Create-O-Holics episode. In the last one, we revolutionized what it is to be an Stargarian, and that means blue and purple. We built this whole kind of foresty area, including 12 custom trees, as well as a beautiful nature reserve pathway walkway all the way through everything. We also did a bunch of terraforming around the outside of this train station because it desperately needed it, and it looks so much better. In this episode, though, we are not doing building. Maybe a little, but not really. Instead, I want to start on the most ambitious project ever. Let me tell you about this project. So we have a mod called Create Dreams and Desires. And in that mod, they have a bunch of new blocks, a bunch of new things, including a thing called the Stargaze Singularity. This is used if you place it on a block, it'll turn it into an infinite source of that block. So you can do it for red sand, for tough, for normal sand, and so on. And you might be rightfully thinking, what the heck, that is so broken. And I would think you're right. Let me sleep. I think you're right. However, they're not like super important blocks, so I guess it's fine. And it's so difficult to make. If we look at the recipe for this thing, you can see that we need to do a mysterious conversion, I don't even know what this is, from an item called a Fallen Stargaze Singularity. This Fallen Stargaze Singularity is made of 7 different things, including Shimmer, Shimmer Bucket, every single milkshake, and a bunch of experience. So, we have a lot of work to do if we want to automate this thing, and that is exactly what I plan on doing. As you may or may not know, DoStream eons ago made a milkshake factory over here. This thing does not make every single milkshake, it makes 4 of them, and we need 8 different ones to make this bucket of Shimmer. That isn't the hardest thing in the world to do. The hardest things is everything else. Just for the compound base, which is the thing that you use to deploy everything onto, you need a chromatic compound, which is used from all of these 3 things under a superheated blaze. So we need blaze cakes, we need polished spectral ruby, which is this, and so on. So I suspect this is going to take up an insane amount of space, and I hope that I can automate it. I bet we could do it fully. My fear, though, to automate something that creates infinite items all the time is that's probably not very solar punky. So we may have to figure out something to do with that later. Well, now that you know my plan, I think it's time to get into a creative world and start automating this thing. And we'll jump back into the survival world for little bits at a time, just so we can get our bearings and potentially do a little bit more to the base over here. Over in the single player world, we have set up here a thing that'll automate polished rose quartz and our polished spectral ruby. We already have an infinite source of both quartz and redstone from all of the mining machines that we have in the base, but we will need something for amethyst shards and glowstone, both of which are farmable. And as I mentioned, both of those things are required to make our compound base that'll eventually be used. The next thing we need is our powdered obsidian, and then we can get to working on this. What is Mythril used for? Oh, wait, that means our chromatic compound is used for 2 things. Oh, this is a pain. Oh my gosh. I knew this was a pain, but I didn't think it was gonna be this much of a pain. All right, another quick progress update. We have now officially set up our obsidian powder and blaze cake setup. We're just using a bucket of chickens, and we have literally infinite cinder flour and infinite sugar. And then I've also set up, as you can see way over here, our amethyst setup. We are able to transport these with minecarts and stuff, so we can set them up in any way we want. We have a little drill system here, and then a clock that waits the exact amount of time, 2 hours and 20 minutes, for this to go back and forth. All of those items will be dropped in here. And I would say, given the difficulty of this, I think we're gonna add in a belt system that will bring it up onto this belt, just so that when this thing isn't moving, it can still deliver all of the items that is in this barrel, instead of having to wait until it's a contraption again to link up with this portable storage interface. And I think that'll just mean that we can just remove this portable storage interface, because I don't think we care. That little system is set up, so we have that all built, and we have a ton of chromatic compounds. Obviously, it's not going to be as fast as it is, because we need to wait 2.5 hours for all of this amethyst to grow every time. But when we harvest it, we do get 3 per large bud, and we have like 30 or so here, so we can make 64 every 2 hours, which is pretty good. And we can obviously just expand this to however long we want it to be. So if we want like 1,000 an hour, we can do that. I don't know why we would need that, but we could do it. So now that we have the chromatic compounds, let's look at the Stargaze Singularity and see what we need. This comes from the chromatic compound. A refined radiance also does Okay, this is a mysterious conversion. We'll have to look up what all of the mysterious conversions are. Shadow steel, again, chromatic compound. So that's 2 or 3 of the 7 things. Blaze, also chromatic. Mythril is a difficult crafting recipe. I don't want to do that. Massive experience is just experience. We have... Oh, frozen. This is just freezing some experience. That's easy. And then Shimmer, as we already mentioned, is all of the milkshakes surrounding a massive experience, which is something that we can maybe craft soon. Okay, let's figure out what all of these conversions are. So we need refined radiance, shadow steel, and blaze brass. So for the refined radiance, allegedly, if we throw this into a beaker... Oh! Okay, cool. So from what it said, we need this beam surrounded by frog lights for it to actually work. But I think it just needs to be a beacon beam, and it totally does. Okay, so what happens if we, let's just do a funnel for now. A funnel works, and then it goes straight up. We can use that, because what if we do a funnel above it, picking up the item? Oh, it just works, baby. Oh, man. Oh, light work. Okay, that's the refined radiance out of the way. For the shadow steel, we allegedly need to throw it into the void and then it will come back up. Huh. I bet we can do the same thing here with a hole all the way to the void. And if we, let's just put in 8 and we'll see how quickly it flies back up. Oh, they're zooming. Oh man, this is gonna be easy. Okay, and then the last one is blaze brass. So to make blaze brass, we apparently need to right-click a blaze. Ooh, but it takes its body, and we can't do a blaze spawner. It needs to be a blaze. This one is a little bit more challenging. All right, I have gone along and made a big cube for a bunch of blazes to spawn in. If we wanted to, we could change this out for tinted glass, and that is exactly what I did. And there we go, now I made it connected, so it now actually looks good. And we have all of the blazes going straight to here. All right, so we should hopefully see, when we put in a couple of chromatic compounds, that this starts converting them into people. Oh no, is that not how it works? Oh, the deployer picks up the item. Okay, I thought the item was gonna pop out into the sky, but that is not the case. Perfect. Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, this isn't super challenging. And we now have our blazy things that are flying. Does gravity not work on them? Weird. Anyway, we have our blazy boys. And this is looking like a pretty menacing contraption factory thing so far. All right, another pretty big progress update. We have a lot of these Stargaze singularities figured out and lined up here. They are in the wrong order, because if we look at how this thing's made, we need refined radiance, then shadow steel, then blaze, which it's not in that order right now. I don't know if I want to change it just yet, but we'll see. It won't be impossible to change, since it'll just be rerouting stuff, but I might just leave it like this and then reroute it over in this area. I don't know yet. I am getting started on the experience one, the massive experience, this thing. So we need our frozen nuggets and normal nuggets, both of which I have kind of set up here. I just need to bring power to this thing and then we'll be good. And then we have that going into a crafting grid, which then goes into the second crafting grid so that we can craft this section of it, and then we'll make this. And that's step 5 of the whole process. I also looked into a little bit into Shimmer, and we actually have all the milkshakes that we need. We do need the chromatic waste, which is this thing. When we drain the chromatic compound in an item drain, we get the compound base, which is what we need to actually make this thing. That's this thing down here, as well as some of the chromatic waste. We need sap, which is if you just put a tree over an item drain. We need hot chocolate, which is easy. We pretty much have that already. And then everything else is just milkshakes that we have. So we'll need to automate it a little bit more. What DoStream has, where is it? Way over there. But we should be good. Why are there so many boys? But now we kind of have to get into making Mythril. Mythril, again, a chromatic compound, but then we need bronze, steel, a glowberry milkshake, which we already have, and nugget of experience, which we also already have coming from over here. And with that plan ready to go, I thought let's get into a time lapse. I didn't want to just do another jump cut. So here is me setting up the entirety of the Mythril creation. You can see that we're setting up our copper, tin, and zinc for the bronze creation. We're also setting up our steel on the left-hand side there, and then we're hooking up our XP. I'm then pulling the compound over from the other side of the farm and connecting it up so we can actually craft the Mythril. With all those components, we just throw it in a basin with some glowberry juice, and then we're making it. And there we go. We have our Mythril set up here, going along this belt all the way up to our staging area, I suppose is what I'm calling it, where we have everything that we need so far. The last thing on the list is Shimmer. And I did move these around. I decided that instead of doing them all in one long line, let's do a little loop around. So we're gonna have all of these go up this way, with obviously this being our compound base. We're gonna go here, get this clicked on it, then this clicked on it, then this clicked on it, 180. And then over here, just because it's going to be on top anyway, so might as well keep it on top, we got the Mythril pressing down on us, and then the massive experience right there. And then all we need is a spout of Shimmer, and we are good. We've talked a lot about Shimmer, so there's not much else to say other than we need DoStream setup. It's never that way. We need DoStream setup over here to get everything sorted, and I'm thinking we build it in the cave itself so that we can actually make this side of the island a little bit more beautiful, mostly so that the church can have something to look at other than some on-fire trees. Because even though that maybe fits the theme, I'm not as big of a fan. And it'll give us the opportunity to fix up DoStream's little hut here to make it look a little bit better. It's not great. What are you gonna say? It's not. He definitely put more effort on the interior. This is actually so bonkers. This is the interior. This is insane, by the way. Like, this is an insane amount of engineering. He did a great job. But we do need to fix up the front of this. So let's get the remaining bits of Shimmer in. Let me move it over here so that it all connects up and looks pretty okay. And we can hopefully route all of the milk buckets and stuff over to the Shimmer area that might just be right here or so. And then hopefully we'll be good. And instead of doing this all in creative, I thought let's just get it into survival. We have to do a lot of prep work, a lot of connecting to all of the different farms together. I needed to make an automatic berry farm, a glowberry farm, a cocoa farm, just to get all of the items into the milkshakes for themselves. And then we hooked up all of the milkshakes to the Shimmer farm, which I will show you right now. I wonder why that's in there. Anyway, we have put this whole thing into our survival world. We obviously don't have our amethyst in there yet. That's going to take a little bit of time to do. We need to get our blaze spawner in here, and we need to hook this thing up to power still and do a bunch of tests and make everything work. But the main thing we were doing was setting up this. So let's go through what Shimmer needs. It needs, I missed this platform. It needs, I think, 4 or 5 of the milkshakes. We have all of those getting pumped over from back here. We have chocolate milkshake, chocolate, strawberry, normal, vanilla, glowberry, and one other, somewhere, that will all get piped up here. Once these are on, they'll fill up all of these spouts. Those will make the buckets. Buckets we are crafting from iron ingots coming in at this spot here, which are going into a crafter to make a bucket. I need to put a mechanical crafter, like a little blocky thing, so that we don't fill the whole thing with iron. But then otherwise, buckets going in here. They're going along this, getting spouted, and then we have buckets of each of the things that we need lying down here. These mechanical arms will then grab all those buckets, put them in this crafting table that then drop out onto here. This includes 1 bucket of Shimmer and then 8 buckets that are empty. The bucket of Shimmer gets drained here and then all thrown into lava that will eventually be in this cauldron, because honestly, we have 90,000 iron ingots and can create more, so I'm not worried about it. That Shimmer then continues all the way around to this spout. We also have figured out the smart chutes and all of the things so that the deployers will all work, and we have this. And you might be wondering, what in the world is this used for? It's a whole thing. We'll get there at the end of the video, so stay tuned. It'll eventually go way up there. But let's go through the changes that I made to DoStream setup. First and foremost, you can see that I have deleted all of the walls on this side here because I honestly think it looks so much better when you can see all of the engineering that he did. Like, this just looks so pretty. I sped up this bit of the farm because I was being annoyed, and more importantly, I have automated our glowberries and sweet berries so that we can make strawberry and glowberry milkshakes respectively. It's a pretty simple farm. We just have deployers right-clicking the berries that will, once fully grown, drop out and get picked up by this magnetic backpack here. And then once these belts are filled, these clutches will turn on, stopping those guys so that it doesn't overflow. And then I think the cooler one out of the two is our cocoa seeds. Since unlike glowberries and sweet berries, you can't just keep right-clicking it and it'll keep growing. You need to break it off, plant it from below, and then bone meal it with this guy, and then break it off again. And this planting guy needs a continuous supply, so we have a hopper underneath here that grabs all of the cocoa beans that it needs, gives it back to him, and we basically repeat that cycle. So that is 90% of the automation. We still don't have dandelions for unlimited vanilla, since that is going to need to done. Whoa. That is going to be need to done insane. That is going to need to be done over here, probably in a river biome, since bone mealing in a normal terralith biome, which is what we're in right now, will not spawn any flowers, which sucks butt. Now I think it's time to get some steam engines into here, and maybe just one. This thing requires 90,000 stress units, which, I mean, I might be biased. I don't think is too bad for this much tech in one spot. Like, this feels like a ton of stuff. So 90,000, I think, is pretty doable. We're just going to do that with the schematic because I can't be bothered. And I mean, you've all seen steam engines before, so it's nothing new. All right, there we go. We have power connected up to this whole thing. Now let's get all these amethysts in, because I still need to do a bunch of prep on this, but this is going to take the longest to grow. And I'd rather not waste 2.5 hours or however long it takes. Yeah, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes that it takes on average for all of these to grow. So let's start getting this amethyst. All right, we're in my amethyst geode section here where we have a ton of geodes, and my strategy is going to be with a cart and a rail. I'm hoping, and I feel like I tested this, maybe I didn't, I honestly, I don't remember, but I think we should be able to just pick this up, and I just had a good idea. Okay, we can't pick up the minecart itself. All right, we have our rail set up. Let's turn this thing on. I made this super jank tunnel. It works though, and it looks like I may be able to catch up to it. And we should see it come and stop right here. There we go. And then if we put a cart assembler down, that thing is now placed in. Now we just have to do that 60 more times. Wish me luck. And with that, all of our amethyst is in. That is 7 by 9, so 63 amethyst, whatever these things are called, in total, which should give us enough amethyst clusters every 2.5 hours, which is a lot of time. Sorry, I keep floating away. Every 2.5 hours, which is a lot of time, but it should be enough to power this whole thing. While that is generating though, let's get to other things. First of all, let me remove this pipe from in here, and then let's go and put in the blaze spawner right in that spot there. And I'm honestly so grateful for the carry-on mod, or whatever it's called. Okay, good. I thought I couldn't pick it up, because we can just pick up our spawner. It makes us slower, but since we got the backpack, it doesn't affect us at all. And we should just be able to put this boy here, and they immediately start spawning and run away. Okay, we know it works. At least one spawned, which is good enough for me. I may want to, underneath here, put a bunch of blocks so that it's less bright. Oh, this should not be separated because you can see through it, and I don't know if that'll affect the rates, so I may just do that. But then otherwise, blaze spawning is good. We also need to get in all of the filters for all of these different items. And let's start over here. This one is going to be iron ingots. So as soon as we do that, we should be getting iron into here, unless I forgot to connect it. Okay, this may have been the issue. Oh, yep, there we go. We got a little bit of iron. I saw it for a second. There we go. Okay, yes, we're getting iron. That is good. And I don't think the order matters here, but I'm going to just do copper, zinc, and tin. All three of these are needed for bronze making. Once we get to it, we do need a superheated blaze underneath this thing, so this won't make anything just yet, but it will eventually. Over here, we need the things for making the blaze cakes, which is sugar and cinder flour. I'm also pretty confident that the order here doesn't matter, so I'm just going to do you, and then over at the end here is going to be our blocks of experience. This was made way over by our XP section here, where I have converted, that's not this building, where I have converted pretty much all of our XP blocks into XP, and we have now, what, 24,000 blocks of experience, and we should see, yep, immediately those are going in, getting converted into XP, and frozen XP, which is exactly what we need. Over here, we're gonna need quartz and redstone. Again, the order here doesn't really matter, so I'm just doing those two. We have amethyst already coming in. I need glowstone up on this top thing to get crushed. And then honestly, I think that's everything that we need, except for over here, we need some more blaze cake craftables. And again, I don't think it matters what order this is in, but this isn't powered by anything. I think I might've broken something. All right, that's powered. I need to do our lava system here. There we go. We're getting obsidian crushed into obsidian powder, or powdered obsidian. and that'll make our compound boys. We do, however, need to power this thing because it's not getting powered. Where? Bro, all my gearboxes disappeared. I don't know what happened. We will have to check to make sure everything is working because so far I think I've lost 5 or 6 gearboxes. I don't know why. Okay, but I think for the most part this is working. I need chickens. Good thing we have 1,000 eggs. Alrighty. Chickens are now installed. We just have to wait for their eggs to craft. Oh, this isn't moving. Why? What the heck are you doing here? Why do you not have bucket? Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I said I needed to do this. Okay. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, the good news is that we have blaze cakes and we're not totally cooked on the iron department. Good thing I learned that now. Holy guacamole. Okay, why is there a chicken in that? We have buckets. What are we missing? I think we're missing vanilla. That is expected. We still need dandelions. Okay, we need to get some logs. And I'm gonna need to make a jungle tree farm because that's the logs that we're using here. It's mostly because it needs sap. And yeah, I hope that's gonna be all of the issues. I need to put in lava in a bunch of places. So let me get a bunch of buckets. Lava here, lava here, lava here. And that should be all of it. Ooh, one more thing I forgot to do. We need to dig a hole down to, oh geez, we need to get to the void. From this spot here. We need to figure out how to break bedrock. I'm glad you can only see my 2 face pixels, but let's get going. Okay, according to our genius overlords called Reddit, we should just be able to do some little tricks and it'll break it for us. I'm just gonna dig a little bit of an area out. Our theory is if I connect these 2 belts... No, that won't work. Okay, no worries. Just yet. They may have fixed it. All right, let's try this again. This time, I'm gonna try it with a schematic. If we place the schematic in here, throw this in you. You're out of gunpowder, of course. Stop being dramatic. And go. No! They fixed it. This is devastating news. So instead I went back to the tried and true method of doing it the vanilla way. This is like a super common thing. I just looked it up and watched the first video that popped up, but this was actually pretty successful. We only needed to break a few blocks of bedrock, but in order to use this method, you do need a 2x2 area. So I did need to break more than I would have hoped to get down to the bottom one. But as soon as I did, we were able to kind of just zoom through the whole thing. This took about 10 minutes and then we got our hole. All right, hole has been created. I almost jumped in. Let's throw this out. There we go. Okay. All right, now that hole should be good. That is, I think, the hardest one. I mean, I had to break, what, 5 pieces of bedrock, which wasn't too bad. In the grand scheme of things, it's better than what it could have been. This looks almost ready to harvest. And now that that's done, let's build a wood farm. All right, that is hooked up. It's so jank, so ugly, but it's in a cave, so it doesn't count as a real build. And now that that is hooked up, let's go build a dandelion farm. I think I'm gonna do this over here. I'm picturing, and you can hear me out, I'm picturing a beautiful little hut thing on the top of this hill that's like someone who lived out in the open as this kind of city or town started being built up around them, and they've lived here for forever. Creepers, let me go and sleep. But I'm thinking an old guy built his cabin up here, hates the locals, hates everything other than his little flowers, and from the looks of it, looks like there are plenty of dandelions here. We first do want to confirm that this is actually gonna work though, so let me break a couple of these and get to bone mealing. Yeah. You can see there that we grew some flowers, so this area will work. And there we go, this little flower farm is done. It is so loud, and I'm so sorry about that. There we go. That is done, a little bit quieter now, and I've just hooked it up to our main storage system with this little tubular here. This should now be connected, so if we look up dandelion, we should see this number increasing rapidly. This is a vanilla flower farm made by Ilmango. I've just installed a auto pickup thing that'll fit this whole area and pick up all the dandelions in the area and seeds, I suppose, but it'll trash the seeds. And it'll grab all of the dandelions that we need, which means we can head over, way back over to here and put in the dandelions into our vanilla system. So then we'll get unlimited vanilla. And if we hook this thing up, set the filter, and I suppose throw in some just bonus dandelions, we should see, or at least begin to see, us making...
No. Hello?
Oh, this guy isn't getting powered for whatever reason. There we go. And yes, now we are making vanilla. Ugh. I hope. Oh yeah, we are. Awesome. Are we out of sugar? No, we have 20,000. What's the deal? Eggs. Chicken. Why is it not all going all the way down? This is why I hate tunnels, dude. We're gonna change this up. I hate tunnels. It's not DoStream's fault. It's the Create mod's fault. But this is now working. This isn't spinning, which whoops. Now everything should be working. We should be getting in a second here. Yes, vanilla coming along, going up the tube into here, and we should get our first batch of shimmer in a second. I don't think it heard me. In a second. In. What's your deal? My guess is since this isn't full, it's not gonna prioritize that. So once this fills up, it should start working, and then we should be getting shimmer. As for all of the other things that we need, we are not yet making mithril, and I think that's just because we do not have enough blaze cakes just yet. That is in fact the case. I feel like we have 100 million chickens in here, so that should be good enough. I don't know. So it does look like we have every other item that we need, which is fantastic news. As soon as we get shimmer and mithril, we'll be good, which just means we need to wait on eggs for blaze cakes. That doesn't mean we're done though. As I mentioned way earlier in the episode, at least way earlier for me, it's been like 3 days, we need to do something with this. And this was like la creme de la creme, it's the thing we want to care about. It involves going up there. And I'll explain the reason for that in a jiffy once we get up there. I can't really even see it. Over there. Over yond. Tunnel officially created. This thing goes all the way down below into the core of the earth and then goes way this way. That way, this way it leads. You can see it from here. Up here. This is, whoa, high sensitivity. This is just a staging area that'll get removed. But that little tube thing is gonna have to stay there forever. The reason for this is because in order to get a Stargaze Singularity from a Fallen Singularity, the Fallen Singularity, just as a reminder, is the thing that we're making with all of the pressing and the spouting and the whatevers down here. In order to get the actual Stargaze Singularity, we need this big tower that we have in front of us. Oh dear, that's really bad. Please get up to the top. Okay, we need this up here. The reason is because in order to get a Stargaze Singularity from a Fallen Singularity, we need to be above Y level 256, which is why we're at 258. And, this is actually probably more important, we need to drop out that Fallen Singularity at exactly midnight or it won't do anything. And I bet your question is, how in the world do we know when it's midnight? Because a daylight sensor senses, believe it or not, if it's daylight or nighttime. That does not tell us what time of the night or time of the day it is, which is actually kind of a bummer. I kind of assumed that like the signal strength would tell. No, doesn't do it. Instead, we have to use a clock. And I think we build it and then I can show you what's going on because it is actually getting close to midnight. So while this is building, let's go through it. We are going to need a clock. And not just any clock, a clock that is set to 24-hour time. That'll mean that as soon as it hits vertical, straight up and down, it will be exactly midnight, or I guess the morning, but that doesn't super count. So let's hook this thing up, and you can see immediately, since it's close-ish to 9 or 10 p.m., it's right here, with only a little bit of time left until it gets to the middle. Thankfully, the game gives you a little bit of leeway, and it doesn't have to be exactly midnight, but it does have to be connected conveniently, maybe not conveniently, maybe it was on purpose. This redstone contact, when it connects up with this one, is the exact time where we can drop out the Fallen Stargaze Singularity to make a Stargaze Singularity. And this transport thing is just for aesthetics. We could have done it over there, straight up, and that would have been fine. But I don't like Guido's base as much as I like General Ross's, if he ever makes it, base over there, and right here is where my base is, and I don't want to look at it. So I put it over near Guido's, because he placed a bunch of torches in my area, and I hate him. Okay, we made it down safe. Let me charge my jetpack, and then we have to figure out why this thing hasn't made any Fallen Stargaze Singularities before midnight, because I want this to be done, and midnight means not done yet. We are all charged up. Let's go check out what's going on. So we do have Shimmer, which is great. What don't we have? We don't have Mythril. Is this still because we don't have enough blaze cakes? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, let me get 500 or so eggs and speed up this process slightly. All right, while that's going, I'm going to do a little bit of potentially janky reordering for the moment, but this will make us get Mythril. Now it's time to wait for this to go through. Oh, What? Oh, we're waiting for Shimmer. Why are we waiting for Shimmer? This has a bucket. Oh my goodness, this is... There we go. Now it's gonna work. Spout it up, baby, let's go. Oh my goodness, we officially have 2 singularities coming through. I needed to pick that up, that was an accident, don't worry about it. But we have 2 singularities more coming through. We actually have so many. Oh my gosh, we're making a ton. And we're gonna get a billion as soon as this harvests, because that's gonna be our first full harvest. And that just shows how long it's taken for me to troubleshoot and do everything. It's been 2.5 hours. Oh no. Wait, midnight already passed. We have to wait a full another day. Bleh. Ooh, it's almost midnight. I was building a tree. Don't worry about it. I think this is actually going to be going. Yep, it's powered. That means they have been dropped out, and they should be over here already. It doesn't look like it, but maybe they haven't loaded it. I don't know. I'm so excited. Singularity. Close. Okay. Yes! Oh my gosh. 14! How many of these do we need? Just out of curiosity? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 18 plus 3, 21, 24 of these. I need 10 more and then I'm done. I never need any more ever. But we're not doing that just yet. Hold on one second. Hold on a hot smidgen of a second. Hold on a jiffy, if you will. We can automate every single block in the game that's on this list. Okay, we can automate 24 blocks with just having it. I don't know what this means though. I cannot believe we have 14 Stargaze singularities. This is the hardest. I mean, this video has taken me so long, so I think you understand how difficult this item is to get, but we have 14 of them. Bro, this is insane. Let's get our top favorite items. I mean, most of these things are not used for anything other than flexing. Bro, we could just make this if we wanted. Okay, never mind. Let's go here. What do we want the most? Tough, for sure. Ice, sure. Dirt, coarse dirt. All right, there we go. All 14 have been gathered. Now, we just place them on the thing and it'll... Huh! 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 We're gonna be so rich. We are unstoppable. We've literally automated every semi-useful building block in the game. I don't even know how this thing works, and I'm still so hype. Okay, allegedly. It makes a cool sound, too. Oh my gosh. If you could see my face right now, I am going insane. First question, probably the most important one, honestly. If I give this to a deployer. Oh, you can automate the info. Okay. The deployer can place the block for you. This game is over. We're done. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the end of the series. I have beaten the game. Except, we haven't. We still need whatever 10 more. We're not doing that right now. I honestly couldn't care less if we get an infra cobblestone and stone blocks. Let's play something that we actually care about. What do we care about? Ice. I use my only ice piece for this. Huh. Infinite ice. Infinite magma blocks? That's okay. Oh, welcome to the block store. Would you like a block? Oh, calcite you say? No problem. How do I do this in F5? Calcite. Bang. There you go. That'll be 1,000 diamonds. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of your day. The calcite one is actually kind of huge because that's not automatable if I recall. I lied. I'm just a filthy liar. I'm so sorry. You know what isn't automatable? Why do I keep hitting F5? Mud? No. Moss? No. Snow? Calcite? Tough! No, that one's automatable. Cobble deep slate. That one's not fully automatable. You need stuff. Completed. We have infinite everything. That is going to be the end of this video. Holy guacamole. I have spent so long designing, building, double designing, double building, all of the components for this thing. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the most progress I've ever made in my life in a Minecraft game ever, and it's all in one episode for you all to enjoy. It's a 20-minute package, probably mostly because I forgot to record a lot of this stuff, but I got so sidetracked. This took so long. But we are done. The tech part of this build, we're gonna need to make this look pretty. this look pretty. Our flower farm that was made this episode. Why is it stopped? Is it? How many daisies do we have? Ah, it seems I have broken it. There we go. Oh my God, it's back on. Is that a creeper? We built an amazing flower farm that's so darn fast. We automated DoStream's entire, what's it called, setup? Milkshake setup. We automated the entirety of the Singularity process. I don't think you understand how bonkers this is. I might make a video on this. If you care, leave a comment down below. Like if you want to build this in your world. I don't know how many people are playing with Dreams and Desires, but it may be useful for you. I'm working on a custom tree. It's coming along. And we have a big old tower into the stratosphere with an ugly thing on top. I don't know how I'm going to make this look good, but we'll have to figure something out because it looks bad right now. Anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed all this progress. We're going to take it light in the next couple of episodes just so I can recuperate and so that you get a video within the next millennia. But that's it for this one. Like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace.